The open split between President Obama and Prime Minister Netanyahu prompted Republican Congressman Steve King to say this on Friday to Boston Herald Radio.
Here's what I don't understand. I don't understand how Jews in America can be Democrats first and Jewish second, right, and support Israel along the line of just following their president.
And with us is Democratic Congressman Steve Israel, a member of the House leadership who took great personal offense to what King said. Congressman, I want to read to you something you tweeted. You said, and I quote, "I don't need Congressman Steve King questioning my religion or my politics. I demand an apology from him and repudiation from the GOP." Have you gotten either, Congressman?
Still waiting, Gloria. Look, I lean to the right on U.S.-Israeli relations. I'm a staunch hawk on those issues. I escorted Bibi Netanyahu into the chamber and out of the chamber. And I really do not need lessons from people like Steve King on what it is to be Jewish or a Democrat. Steve King, who said that America is a Christian nation, should not be lecturing Jews about how we should be Jewish. Steve King doesn't know what chutzpah is, but Steve King lecturing Jews about how we, defining Jews and talking about how we can't be Democrats or Jews and Jews at the same time, that's chutzpah.
Well, there is another larger issue that you raised, I think, that Steve King raised, and that is that the question of whether, if you support the president over Bibi Netanyahu as an American Jew, that somehow that means that you're not supportive of Israel. How do you personally feel about that?
Look, that great Talmudic scholar, Steve King, is going into areas he knows nothing about. The fact of the matter is that I choose to support Israel because it's good for the United States. I've had disagreements with the president on Israel, and my leadership on Israel is based on one thing, and that is that a strong Israel is a secure America. But I haven't seen Steve King at any of the hearings to increase funding for Iron Dome or the Arrow systems. Steve King wasn't with me when I went to Israel as a Democrat when the rockets were flying from Gaza from Hamas. He didn't show up then. And so I'm not going to take lectures from Republicans like Steve King about how to support Israel.
How do you feel about Bibi Netanyahu's treatment of the president?
Everybody needs to just take a deep breath and step back. Bibi Netanyahu has said, and I fully agree with him, that the most important strategic asset that Israel has is bipartisanship in the United States Congress. He is right about that. It does Israel no service, and it does the United States no service to make it a partisan football.
But to get back to my question, how do you believe Bibi Netanyahu treated this president? By coming before the Congress, being invited by John Boehner, whom I might add is going back to Israel. Do you think that Netanyahu is essentially throwing his lot in with Republicans to a degree?
There's the personality and then there's the policy. Look, Ronald Reagan provided $8.5 billion in sophisticated AWACS weaponry to the Saudis, and people said, oh my gosh, this is a major division between the President of the United States and the Prime Minister of Israel back in the 1980s. Who cares? What counts is the substance, and on the substance, the relationship between the United States and Israel has never been closer on military and strategic and intel issues. And Gloria, let me give you the irrefutable proof.
Let me just say, John McCain just said that President Obama is throwing what he called a temper tantrum against Bibi Netanyahu, and that he ought to get over it. Do you disagree with McCain about the president, his relationship with Netanyahu?
I do not believe that it's helpful to that strategic asset, the bipartisan relationship between Israel and the United States, for people to begin using Israel as a political football, to reduce Israel to a soundbite, to talk about who called who and who's angry at who. What counts is, are we providing Israel with the critical security equipment technologies they need? And on that, we are. I would remind John McCain that when the rockets flew from Hamas to Israel, it was in fact President Obama who asked Congress to support $225 million in emergency funding for the Iron Dome system. It was the Congress who supported that supplemental request. 4 Republicans voted against it. 4 Democrats voted against it. That's not a hemorrhage in the relationship between the countries.
But are you, as a leader in the House Democratic Party, are you worried about an erosion of support among Democrats for Israel, given this sort of current rift in the relationship between the two leaders?
Not at all, because there's no evidence of it. The fact of the matter is, in Congress, there's no erosion of support. Every Democrat except for 4 supported Iron Dome funding. Every Republican except for 4 supported Iron Dome funding. And I don't see that erosion anywhere else throughout the country. Have there been flashpoints between the United States and Israel in the past? Show me a president since Harry Truman. I'll show you those flashpoints. What counts and what we need to do is get back to the fundamentals and stop thinking about the drama. You know, there's all this drama now about, you know, the president waited 2 days to call Bibi Netanyahu.
Yep.
It reminds me of my Jewish mother in Phoenix, Arizona, saying, you know, you had to wait 2 days to call me? Who cares whether it's 2 days, 1 day? What counts is, are we supporting Israel, providing them with the security they need? And on that, it does Israel no service for Republicans to make it a partisan football, and it does Israel no service for us to get caught up in the hype and the drama of personalities. What counts is the policy.
Okay, thanks so much, Congressman Steve Israel, and always call your mother, of course. Thank you so much.
Of course, Gloria, thank you.
A dozen